Ferrari the fastest, abysmal Aston Martin, Cadillac debut in F1, and plenty more about last preseason test in Bahrain. Let's talk Formula 1. I would rank the team in order, from the bottom to the top. It's just my thoughts, so if you have any arguments, let's discuss them in the comments. 11th team will be Aston Martin, with the fastest lap time of 1 minute 35 seconds and 974 milliseconds, and 334 laps in total after 6 days in Bahrain. When they first showed up in Barcelona, I think we all were pretty excited about the new design of the car, thus Alonso behind the wheel of it. Nonetheless, it dates back to Thursday in Barcelona, when Lance did just 2 laps and car broke down. And it ends the same way with Fernando, as he had lots of problems and issues with ERS, thus engine on Thursday, which resulted in Honda releasing a statement about how hard they are working in Sakura and that there will be limited time for Lance on Friday. Genuinely, I didn't expect to be that limited to the extent of 6 laps. Aston was the one team that didn't do the race sim. So, as only they are using Honda engine, it would be a success for them to get to the end of the race, as it seems for now in Melbourne. They have a chunk of work to do, so let's hope that they can turn that around, so not to repeat a GP2 engine for Alonso. 10 teams would be Cadillac, with the fastest lap on 1:35.290 and 586 laps in total after 6 days. For a brand new team to be just consistent with their running, even with lots of problems on their management, electrical and etc. side, they still put a decent test. Obviously, they will be slower than the regular midfield teams, however, taking into account the power unit they equipped with, it will be only needed to make some progress in the aerodynamics area, which will result in gradual progress for them. 9th team, I'm going with Williams, the fastest time of 1:34.342 and 783 laps on the board. You may not agree with me for that one, however, the team that I've put on 8th place will be progressing more, as they do not have to be dieting that much. Williams is massively overrated as per rumors, plus just by the look in general. Williams put quite a mileage after missing Barcelona shakedown. Nonetheless, drivers and management are not happy in terms of where they are standing, as they dedicated the entire 25 season to have an upper hand in this new set of regulations. 8th team is Audi, with the fastest time of 1:33.755 and 711 laps after 6 days. Audi has made its own gearbox and engine, which resulted in many technical and reliability problems. Therefore, it didn't stop them from inventing, because they've created a bit interesting sidepod, so hopes that this will only be a game changer for them, but not a problem. They had some tough times with start procedures, what, as we already know, will be a massive factor in these regulations. 7th team is Alpine, with the fastest time of 1:33.421 and 677 laps on the board. After stepping down from their own engine, Alpine seemed to have gained quite a bit more confidence. Thus, there were some reliability issues, mostly on week 1 of the Bahrain preseason test. In general, the car's rotation, handling appeared to be one of its strongest points. Plus, tire degradation is consistent and controlled. So far, it's a solid progress by them. 6th team I'm going with is Racing Bulls, with the fastest time of 1:34.149 and total of 734 laps. Preseason ended for them with record-breaking result for one driver in terms of completed laps. That is 1:65 for solely rookie Arvid Lindblad. They have a decent engine in the face of Ford. Lawson, who is experienced, grid rookie. That seems to me like a good baseline to start with. However, they had their problems with drivability, as drivers couldn't push as much as I'm sure they would want. Nevertheless, from my point of view, there will be a suffice midfield car. 5th team that impressed with their reliability and consistency is Haas, with faster time of 1:34.487 and 794 laps on the board. Right from the start of the Barcelona shakedown, Ocon put something around 150 laps on the first day. That means that not only Ferrari engine is dependable, but Haas as well. To the observe, Haas car looked stable in the corners and quite good on straights. Race sim from both drivers were pretty consistent, which inspired confidence in the whole team. First of the top 4 I'm going with, it's Red Bull with the fastest time of 1:33.109 and 6.72 laps for two Bahrain test. In the first place, the energy management seemed as one of the best. They were bringing some upgrades throughout the test, plus in the hands of Max, car looked fast, regardless of the circumstances, and had tremendous degradation. One of the most prominent issues were for Isack Hadjar on day 2, when, if I'm not mistaken, they did some laps and then skipped the whole morning session. On the third place, I'll put a reigning champion, that is McLaren, with the fastest time of 1:32.861 and total laps 809. Even though they haven't shown all they had, from my perspective, they're just a tiny bit behind the first two teams. As Fred Vasseur stated, that this season is going to be all about fast and quality development, in which McLaren thrive, as we know, from ground defect era. So having Mercedes engine, amazing engineering and management team, plus handful driver is going to give them a fairly good baseline for the new era. Second team I'm going with, it's Ferrari with fastest time of 1:31.992 and total of 745 laps. Ferrari showed kinda unusual innovation in terms of mobile rear wing that is, per different expert, if usable, gives them around 8 to 10 kilometers on straights. Thus, while braking, it helps to stop the car quicker and provide with a better stability. Then there is a tiny wing in the exhaust area that delivers tricky elements for Italian team. Generate more downforce, improves medium-low speed corner performance, and on straights it can reduce some drag, thus act as an extension to the diffuser. They haven't had plenty of issues with the engine apart from morning session of day 2 when Lewis was driving, yet this was an immense test in terms of performance, stability or reliability from Scuderia. So will it finally be their year? The first one, as you already guessed, I'm going with Mercedes, with the fastest lap of 1:32.803 and total of 714 laps. We all know that they haven't shown it all. Part of that should be due to engine brawl that is going on right now. Like, they had to change the entire engine during Kimi's time behind the wheel on Friday. Even with this, as per different sources, they have the best engine, combined with a good car, they seem to be as favorites for this season. However, as you may already have heard, FIA is going to change the procedure that will be measuring the compression ratio. Till this time, that is going to be like around midsummer, Mercedes, if they have an advantage in this, will be using from it, and if it helps them to have advantage in general of the whole car, they will be legal and they can win more races or put in better performance. That's my ranking of F1 teams going into 2026. If you have any arguments, thoughts or different opinions, leave it in the comments, we will discuss it. Hit like and subscribe button to all the medias not to miss any F1 content. Thank you for watching and I'll see you in the next one.